I, 24-year-old female, have been dating Ben, 26-year-old male, for 8 months. For context, Ben and I are from different income brackets, and Ben has expressed that he sometimes feels a little bit weird about this because he is a gentleman at heart, but he says it's hard to treat me since I'm not really impressed by his gestures. I've said many times that I'm not concerned about these kind of things either way, but it comes up periodically. Last night, Ben and I went to dinner with 6 of my friends. There were 3 men in total and 5 women. At the end of the dinner, the 2 guys, Max and Harry, said they would get the bill, as the guys usually do when we're out. Ben quietly said to me that he wasn't really comfortable with the guys paying for his dinner, so I said I'd chip in with the bill. Ben said thank you, but could he chip in, and then I could pay him back afterwards because he didn't want them to know I was paying. This struck me as totally absurd because firstly, it's an unnecessary step. Secondly, even split the cost was something I wasn't sure he would realistically be able to cover. And thirdly, I felt like he was trying to enter a pissing contest with my friend, which was just childish. I said no, I would just pay, and then turned to everyone and said I'd chip in a third of the bill. No one batted an eyelid, but Ben was sulking. He's now mad at me, saying I emasculated him and made him look bad in front of my friends. I think he's over-dramatising it because my friends couldn't care less, and he needs to get over himself. Am I in the wrong for not letting him save face? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. After reading some of your comments, you are 100% the idiot. You invited Ben. They were your friends who clearly have money. You went to a restaurant you knew he couldn't afford. At the end of the night, a situation arose where Ben felt like he had to pay, or at least be seen to pay, because of how your friends pay for the girls. Ben most likely didn't want to look bad to your friends. He probably wants your friends to like him/respect him, and got put in a position he wanted to save face, not look broke. Rather than supporting him, you intentionally went, "No idiots here, I'll pay," and didn't give a damn how it made Ben look or feel. I wanted to be on your side until I read that Ben was invited somewhere by you, that he couldn't afford, and with your friends. He is the outsider. He wants to be accepted. You knew that the guys often pay for the girls before the meal, and this could be a likely expectation. Don't be surprised if Ben refuses to do anything with your friends again. He probably felt set up to a degree. 100%. You're the idiot. I'm going to stick an edit on here for all the nonsense comments that Ben should just own it, is childish, etc. OP has stated she benefits from this gender dynamic and that men pay for most her meals and everything at clubs. She's happy with that. She's not, though, when Ben wanted to try and fit in with that standard and refused to help him this time and then raise her concerns at home. How would you all react if he had called them out about paying for the girls as a dated misogynistic act that they need to get dropped since it's the 21st century? You'd all have called him rude to her friends, disrespectful to OP, and told her to dump him. This is despite what he did being along the lines or so many suggestions and criticisms Ben received. The issue you all seem to have is Ben tried to fit in with her friends he was newly meeting and asked her to help. No, we do not support our partners. Everything is black and white, and the poor little pauper boy must get over how he feels. He has a fragile ego and must accept he is not our equal. That is OP's view on it. Imagine a guy had done that to a girl. You'd all be up in arms, but Ben has to just get over his childish ego. A lot of ridiculousness secure people in the comments. Comment 2. No idiots here. You're not an a-hole, but I also think you missed Ben's point a little bit. Blah, 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 modern society, but in this particular context, as you stated, it was common for the men to pay for the women. Now Ben has been added into the situation, and the writing is very clearly on the wall that he is supposed to step up and pay for part of it as one of the men in the group. Outdated as it may be in that situation, your group made it very clear that that was expected. You may not realize it because you're simply used to it, but as a new person joining the group, particularly a new man, there's a lot of probably unexpected pressure all of the sudden with clear social guidelines. The reason why your boyfriend leaned over to talk to you about it was because of that clear sudden social pressure to chip in as one of the men in the group. I understand where you're coming from because I am also very much a practical woman, and this is an impractical situation. And I can see where your solution comes from, because in your eyes it's just a matter of helping the friends split the bill. However, in Ben's eyes, it's a matter of that amongst your friends the men split the bill and pay for the women. By announcing that you are as a woman going to split the bill as well, you have now broken that social construct. And you're probably right, that your friends don't really care, but you also know your friends a lot better than Ben does. So in Ben's eyes, it was clear that he as a man was supposed to pick up part of the bill, and now his girlfriend made an announcement that she was going to pick it up instead. Again, I don't think that you're the a-hole in this situation because I think you simply misread it. However, I do think you might want to sit down and talk to Ben a little bit and let him express himself with what was going through his head in that situation. Comment 3. I think you're not considering how Ben feels at all. I get it. You make more, you run with a richer crowd, and money is no big deal to you. That's not the case for him. Put yourself in his shoes for a moment. These are your friends, not his. It seems understood that the men will often pick up the bill. Ben is new to this group and possibly did not understand, A, that the men would offer, or B, how much it would be. He was embarrassed. This is not a man-woman thing. It's about pride and looking like a deadbeat. I'm surprised you don't understand that. One group offered to do something based purely on one differentiating characteristic, gender. Ben also has that characteristic. He is a man. He wanted to participate but couldn't and asked you to have his back. You said no. I hate lies/pretending/laying claim to something you have no right to, and if this is regular behaviour, I would absolutely be on your side. But in a one-time surprise situation, he asked you to help him save face and you refused. I would go so far as to say that you should have prepared him knowing the difference in budgets, the men's propensity to pay, and your knowledge of his feelings on the matter. Then he would have been ready one way or another, and wouldn't have asked you to fake it. If he had, I would have said he was the a-hole. As things stand, though, you're the idiot. Now for the update. After much reflection and many heartfelt conversations, Ben and I have reached a new understanding about our relationship and how we navigate our differences, particularly when it comes to finances. Ben acknowledged that his pride had been hurt that night at the dinner, but he also recognized that his reaction was rooted in his insecurities about our income disparity. He opened up about how societal pressures to be a provider were weighing on him and that he was projecting these onto our relationship. From my side, I realized that while I want to be supportive, I also had to be true to my values, which meant not partaking in pretenses that make anyone uncomfortable. I reassured Ben that his worth to me and to our friends isn't tied to his financial contributions. We decided to set some ground rules and expectations for future outings. We agreed that sometimes I would cover us both and other times we would go Dutch or he would treat. The key was open communication and mutual respect for each other's feelings and financial comfort zones. And here's the heartwarming bit. Last week we went out with the same group of friends for a casual dinner. When the bill came, Ben confidently said, "We've got this," and we split it right down the middle. Our friends cheered, joking about how we're the ultimate modern power couple. I caught a glimpse of Ben's face, and he was beaming with genuine happiness, not pride. The biggest breakthrough came when we had a quiet moment after our friends had left. Ben took my hands in his and thanked me for helping him work through his insecurities. He said that my confidence in him had given him a new perspective on what it meant to be the man in the relationship. It wasn't about money or impressions, it was about being a partner. I felt my eyes well up with tears because I saw just how much he had grown. In that moment, we weren't just a couple with different paychecks. We were a team ready to take on the world together, with love as our greatest asset. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's commendable that both parties in this scenario were able to address the issue of financial disparity with maturity and understanding. Ben's initial reaction, stemming from societal pressures and perhaps internalized notions of self-worth tied to income, is not uncommon. However, the way that both of you worked through these insecurities is a testament to the strength of your relationship. Setting ground rules and establishing open communication is essential in any partnership, and it appears that you both are committed to these principles. Ben's ability to express gratitude and acknowledge the importance of partnership over financial status shows personal growth and a deepened connection between you two. The key takeaway here is that money should not define a relationship, and mutual respect and support are far more valuable. Comment 2. Not the idiot. The issue you've highlighted goes beyond the typical financial disagreement. It touches on the deeper aspects of vulnerability and partnership in a relationship. Ben's willingness to be open about his insecurities is a brave step that many might find difficult to take. The fact that you both chose to navigate this sensitive topic without resorting to blame or resentment is a positive reflection on your relationship. Moreover, the decision to set boundaries that respect each other's financial comfort zones shows that you are both considerate and equitable partners. This approach not only resolves the immediate issue, but sets a healthy precedent for how to handle potential conflicts in the future. It's important that in a partnership, both parties feel valued and heard, regardless of who earns more or less. Comment 3. Not the idiot. This story illustrates a mature resolution to a conflict that could have easily escalated. By focusing on values and not pretenses, you both prioritized the emotional health of your relationship over societal expectations. Financial disagreements are often a source of tension in relationships, but the two of you approach this with a level of introspection and mutual support that is admirable. Ben's gesture of confidence during the dinner with friends and his subsequent acknowledgement of your support is a sign of a healthy dynamic where both partners feel secure enough to be themselves. This experience likely brought you closer and reinforced the idea that in a genuine partnership, the emotional bond and understanding between individuals outweigh material concerns. It's a powerful reminder that the true measure of a relationship is not found in bank accounts, but in the shared commitment to grow and support each other. Now for the next story. My son is in college, 19 years old. I'm going to be blunt. He was a nightmare to try to teach things to. I would sit him down and show him how to do his laundry, for example. He would leave halfway through and then mess up when doing it himself. I would show him again and he would still mess it up. He broke the vacuum since he refused to pick up the large stuff. It was for everything, and I believe it was to get out of chores. We once got in a huge argument since I made him clean up the whole kitchen after he spilled the garbage all over the floor. It didn't rip because he didn't tie the top. I got a call today about how I didn't teach him to balance a checkbook. I tried. He has ended up overspending on his credit card and now is going to have credit card debt. He asked for the money to pay it off since it's apparently my fault he messed up. I told him no. This started an argument and I told him it's not my fault he messed up and he can't blame me. He called me a jerk and called his grandparents, and they are on my case now. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You did try. He wasn't interested in learning at the time. It seems as many teenagers don't love parents trying to teach them things. They don't want to be told. They think they can just figure it out. Well, you definitely don't need to pay off his credit card debt. Luckily, there is this thing called the internet where he can look up how to do most anything, including learning about budgeting and balancing a checkbook. Your grandparents should not be involved in this at all. Comment 2. In this instance, you are not the idiot, but this sounds like years of dysfunction. And did you ever try to find out if there were underlying causes? Possible reasons for his frustration and struggle to learn things? Ultimately, how a 19-year-old acts and spends their money is not your fault, but this also sounds like only the tip of a massive iceberg of issues. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Tell grandparents they can pay off the credit card if they are so concerned. Just make sure you don't. He's 19 and it's time for him to grow up. If you bail him out, he'll never change. And then in a few months, you'll have to bail him out again, and again, etc. Now, for the update. Well, it's been a whirlwind 2 weeks since my last post about my son's credit card debacle. After our argument, things escalated quickly when he decided to reach out to his uncle, my brother, who's always been the cool relative. My son spun the story, painting himself as this neglected kid who was never taught life skills. My brother, without consulting with me first, took it upon himself to give my son a crash course in adulting, which included a full weekend of learning to budget, do laundry, and even cook basic meals. The following Monday, my son, feeling emboldened by this newfound attention, decided to host a small dinner party for his dorm mates to showcase his cooking skills. Unfortunately, he miscalculated the cost of ingredients and ended up doubling his credit card debt. The dinner was a disaster. He used salt instead of sugar in the dessert, and one of the main dishes got burned. It was a mess, both literally and figuratively. A couple of days later, at my wit's end, I sat down with him to have a serious heart-to-heart. We reviewed his credit card statement line by line, and it became painfully clear to him how quickly small purchases add up. The gravity of the situation finally seemed to sink in. But then came the kicker. One of his dorm mates, who attended the ill-fated dinner party, posted about it online, and it went viral in their college community. The embarrassment hit my son hard. The silver lining, though, was that it somehow sparked a sense of responsibility in him. He reached out to the credit card company himself to explain his situation and managed to get on a repayment plan. Just when I thought things were settling down, my parents, his grandparents, called an impromptu family meeting. They had somehow gotten wind of the entire saga and were concerned about the family's reputation. In a surprising turn of events, they offered to pay off his debt under the condition that he would work part-time at their business to learn the value of money. As of now, he's a week into his new job, learning more than he probably ever wanted to about life skills and financial responsibility. He's complained every day about the early mornings and hard work, but I can see a change in him. There's a glimmer of maturity starting to show. It's rough going, but maybe, just maybe, this whole fiasco has set him on a path towards real independence. Fingers crossed. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's commendable that as a parent, you have chosen to let your son face the consequences of his financial irresponsibility rather than bailing him out immediately. The fact that the uncle stepped in to impart life skills was a proactive measure, showing that the family is invested in the son's personal growth rather than just solving his immediate problems. The disaster at the dinner party, while unfortunate, served as a wake-up call for your son to realize the severity of his financial situation, which is a crucial step towards adulthood. The embarrassment from the viral dinner failure could be a harsh lesson, but it seems to have been the catalyst for his decision to take action and work with the credit card company on a repayment plan. This shows that he is beginning to understand accountability. Additionally, the grandparents' offer to help by providing a job is a valuable opportunity for him to learn the value of hard work and money management. Despite his reluctance and complaints, it is part of the learning curve. Your patience and balanced approach, allowing him to grow through experience while still having a safety net, is a wise strategy that should ultimately guide him towards financial independence and responsibility. Comment 2. Not the idiot. In this situation, your son is learning an invaluable lesson about financial literacy and self-sufficiency. The uncle's involvement was a necessary step to help the son gain practical skills that would serve him beyond just managing debt. It's important to recognize that while the cooking skills did not pan out as expected, the son made an effort to improve himself and contribute something of value, which is a positive behavior in the long run. Your intervention to review the credit statement together was a supportive act that helped him understand the real impact of his spending habits. This educational approach is far more beneficial than simply solving the problem for him. The son's humiliation from the viral incident, although tough, might be the necessary discomfort that propels him to change. Maturity often comes from experiencing the full spectrum of consequences for our actions. Finally, the grandparents' conditional support by offering employment at their business is a strategic move. It ties financial assistance to personal effort and growth, instilling in your son the importance of working for what he receives. His reluctance is a natural reaction, but the job is a stepping stone to gaining a real-world perspective on earning and managing money. The fact that you are recognizing signs of maturity suggests that these lessons are starting to take root, which is the ultimate goal of any parent, preparing their child for the adult world. Comment 3. Not the idiot. The approach you've taken with your son emphasizes the importance of personal responsibility and the development of a strong work ethic. The uncle's role in teaching life skills is a prime example of how family can support each other in ways that go beyond financial help. It's about preparing each other for the real world. Your son's failed attempt at showcasing his cooking skills, while financially set back, is part of the risk-taking that is essential for personal growth and learning. Your action to sit down with him and review his credit card statement is a crucial educational moment. It's a reality check that many young adults miss out on, leading to uninformed financial decisions later in life. The son's initial embarrassment and subsequent viral notoriety, although harsh, could serve as a strong deterrent from future reckless spending. Moreover, the grandparents' involvement introduces the concept of earning one's way out of trouble, rather than expecting a bailout. This is a critical life lesson that will likely benefit him far beyond the resolution of this debt. His complaints about the job, though not ideal, reflect a normal adjustment period to new responsibilities. It is encouraging that you see signs of maturity emerging from this ordeal. His journey towards financial independence and adulthood seems to be on the right track, thanks to the family's collective efforts to instill these values. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.